how does it feel for you switching that much from nonfiction to fiction? What was the biggest difference you noticed, other than like the content? I'm just talking like on the reading experience. What's been the effect on you?
It felt like I went back to being a kid again, because when I was a kid, I read just fiction. Like when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, when I was sort of an adolescent, I was reading there's this series in the UK called the Cherub series. It's very similar to Jack Reacher in the sense it's sort of a orphan spy, similar to like James Bond type.
Okay.
And the author came to our school, and I read that series. I think there was like 8 or 9 books, and I read that. And then when I was at school, we used to obviously study Shakespeare, and we studied, there was this one poem. And I used to read quite a lot of poetry when I was younger, and similar to music in the same way that you were explaining at the beginning of this, is you sort of lose that touch with it. But it was not the sense that I matured out of it. I just changed my interest. And I feel like I'm sort of rekindling that. So it almost doesn't feel strange. It feels normal, because it's something that I was used to not so long ago. Well, quite actually, to be fair, quite long ago, because I mean, really, we're looking at over a decade, really, since I've been reading extensively on fiction. It was really since before I did my A levels in the UK, so before 18. Really, when I was thinking about it the other day, as I transitioned from sort of GCSEs into A levels, which is sort of 17 to 18, you start to think about what I'm going to study so that I can study at university. And then from university, what job am I going to get?
Right.
And I feel like you just gradually move away from fiction, because there's not the value there that you can perhaps study unless you're studying English literature. You know, I studied politics. So you want to read about economics, history, politics, philosophy, all that kind of stuff. So I feel like my reading has become inspiring again. So it feels like I don't call it a rebirth, because it sounds like a bit too dramatic, but I feel like I've got an extra bit of motivation, because it's just a different side of the mind and the creativity aspect.
I think something so true to what you say. And just thinking about it now, when you said like you kind of abandoned this for some time, and the same parallel that I said with music. And I think at one point we're so focused on what we should do instead of what we want to do. So we're like, I should be doing this and I should be reading about this. And we put aside what we want, thinking is of lesser value. And when I look back, a lot of the courses that I took, because I used to take a lot of extra courses in university, just not for credits or anything. I just wanted to learn more about business. I'm just going through the notes now as I'm getting rid of a lot of old notebooks and stuff. It's like, this was sort of a waste of time. I should have been doing things that I enjoy, because I never applied any of those things that I've learned. And it's kind of like when people read nonfiction, but for entertainment, but they want to feel like they're doing something productive. It's like, if you're not using it, and if it's not adding that much value, you might as well just spend it reading fiction if that's what you enjoy most. So many times we're just putting the should over the want, and that's probably a mistake. And later on, we rediscover those things. It's like we go back, it's like, I used to enjoy doing this so much. Why did I stop? And it's just because we pile so much other stuff on top of it that we forget. So it's rediscovering those passions, and is just as valuable to enjoy things, even if they're not related to your job or not related to anything else. Just for a moment, sitting down and saying, I really like this.
Thank you for watching this video. To listen to the full podcast, click the link in the description below.